My mother had arrhythmia. Her heart wasn't beating properly, and it was a problem that they knew about, but there just wasn't much that they could do about it. She had a heart attack one night and passed away. So, yeah, I spent most of my time growing up just me and my dad. I'd gone from being a young kid and idolizing my dad and seeing him as this unstoppable force of nature, and to actually beginning to realize that he was human and that he could make mistakes, but was also, I guess, just as vulnerable as we all are. My dad ended up being made redundant from his job. His mum passed away, so all of this stuff was happening in his world. And so that hopelessness mixed with anxiety and sadness meant that he ended up being diagnosed with depression. Because my dad had such bad anxiety, he needed sleeping pills just to sleep, and so my standard night would be about 7 o'clock. He would take the pills, and then I'd tuck him into bed and kind of just be there with him for the next kind of 5 to 6 minutes until they kicked in, and then he was out. So I'm like 16, I think, at the time. So going to parties, hanging out with mates, drinking, drinking too much, experimenting with drugs. And for me, it wasn't about having fun on the weekends. It was about not having to worry about my week. And so I ended up failing year 13. And I guess that was kind of when I started to experience a little bit of hopelessness as well, because I had this idea of what I wanted to do with my future, where I wanted to go, further education, and then I didn't have the grades or the marks to be able to make that a reality, and so that was just another thing that wasn't going right for me. I used to walk across from my bus stop home, it was like 100 meters past the main road, 100k main road, and so I used to see trucks and just think it could all be over. One of my friends at the time, she was like, "Hey, let me take you to church." One of our friends was going to be singing, and so she said, "Come to church and you can hear him sing." And I had this moment where I realized that that's what I needed, and that's what I had been missing. And surrounded by hundreds of people that I'd never met before, in a place that I'd never been before, I just burst into tears. And I'm talking like full ugly cry, like snot and just sobbing. And it was amazing because I wasn't sad. It was that I hadn't found hope in so long, and it was this glimpse into something hopeful, and that was the beginning for me. Everything changed from that moment. Today I work for an organisation called Attitude. We speak to young people about a whole range of topics that they need to hear about, and try and give them some hope. Realising that I had that worth helped save my life, and so hopefully letting other people know about that value and worth will do something for them as well. We forget that actually to be human is actually not to be perfect, is to make mistakes, is to get things wrong, is to stuff up sometimes. And now that I have a relationship with Jesus, I've realized that actually I don't need to be perfect. My dad's now a personal trainer. He's out there doing what he loves to do and helping other people, and is in a really good place right now. We can both look back at what's happened to us and be really happy about how far we've come. Yeah.